Hey, Clinton community family, thank you so much for joining us again tonight. Thank you so much for being a part of these live streams, these Sunday night lives, these Clinton community live kind of things that we're doing. And we're excited to continue sort of the series that we started last week. I know it doesn't seem like we started a series last week, but last week we started a series for this month that's going to be about it's going to be talking about making a comeback. Last week, we were gracefully joined by Dr. Watts to talk about where we're at with COVID and the comeback we've made and the ways to make a better comeback. If you haven't watched that video, we encourage you to go back and watch that video. It's very informative. It's a little lengthier than our normal videos, but very, very good, very informative, very fun, and we encourage you to watch it. Tonight, we're going to continue that by talking to Adam White again. I know it's something that if you looked at the title, you may know it, but it's making a comeback and the idea of coming back from PTSD. Adam's, you've lived a rather interesting life on some level.
I have. So you've met my in-laws.
Yeah. I mean,
no, seriously.
I know your wife. That's about it.
Yeah, well, luckily she got away from it.
But yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. Next week, we're going to talk a little bit about making a comeback from dealing with divorce. If you didn't know it, Michelle McKee.
Who's Michelle?
I don't know. I can't speak tonight. Michelle McKee's going to be back again. And a lot of people don't know. I mean, she had a first marriage. It didn't go very well, very, very quickly. And I wouldn't have known it until one day she sat down and was telling me about it. So it's a really interesting story. And then finally, we're going to wrap everything up with talking to Timmy Mazingo. About 4 years ago, I think, maybe 5 years ago? How long ago he lost his mom? About 4 or 5 years ago, he lost his mother. I know a lot of people losing a parent's difficult, but him and his mom were
very close.
Super close. Yeah. And to make a comeback and to live and to do what he's doing is really big for him, and we're excited for him. So we're going to be sharing those kind of stories, and we want you to share your story about how you deal with issues in your life and make comebacks with issues in your life and things of that nature. But before we go any further, please make sure you're liking, make sure you're commenting, make sure you're sharing. Tell us where who's watching, where you're from tonight. Tell us what's going on in your life. This is supposed to be a conversation. Me and Adam have already had a good little time discussing some stuff, so we're looking forward to having a good time discussing this. But we are going to pray, and then we're going to jump right into it. So, God, I want to thank you for being the God of comebacks, the God that helps us make comebacks in our lives, the God that sees our faults, and even though that we're held responsible for actions, you forgive us of those sins and you help us move forward from those sins, God. You help us move forward from devastating things in our lives, some things that maybe we didn't cause at all, maybe we had very little to do with, but it was difficult to come back from, and you were there as a God of comebacks. You give us second, third, fourth, infinity chances. It says, where our sin abounds, your grace abounds, God, and I pray tonight let people feel your grace abound in their life and what's going on. Again, thank you so much for who you are. Thank you so much for what you're going to do tonight. And thank you so much for someone like Adam White and the testimony and story he gets to share tonight. In Christ's name I pray. Amen. Amen. So, Adam, I know this isn't, I guess, sort of the first thing that you've had to deal with in life, but I know you were in the military.
Yep.
How long were you in the military? Did you retire with 20 years?
No, I retired with 18. I was medically retired due to PTSD.
Okay.
So that was the reason I was put out.
So you were, and I mean, just because we're coming up on the 20th anniversary, were you one of the first groups sent out? Or like, I know you joined the military probably not too long after that. Were you one of the first people sent out there after 9/11, or was it before then?
No, I actually went out in, I'm trying to remember, 2004.
Okay.
So 2004 was my first trip to Iraq. I went to Iraq 2 times.
All right.
So 2004 and then 2007 to 8.
Okay.
So 2004 was like February to December. 7 and 8 was, I can't even remember. We came back in like May.
But almost a year each time?
But yeah, each year was like right there 12 months.
Cool. Goodness gracious.
So, you know, the first time was so-so. We had a few things we got into. I was newly married. I think we'd been married, me and my wife Crystal, been married like 6 months. Whenever I got, put
now,
on
did
a
you know
horse.
I don't know enough about the military.
Okay.
How soon do you get told, hey, you're getting shipped out?
Okay, if you're asking, I did not marry my wife so she could get my life insurance policy while I was gone.
Okay.
If something happened.
I mean, that would have been a smart move, though.
It would have been, but no. We knew it was going to happen, but we had already kind of planned on, getting together and everything.
Yeah.
So, but.
So you had already known right before you got married that
I knew it was like a 90% possibility.
Okay.
So it weren't at a time.
You ain't already got your leave papers or anything like that. You ain't got none of that stuff yet. It was just sort of talked around.
Yep. That it was a high possibility, and it just kind of depends on how your unit structure is and what your percentage of personnel is, because you got to be close to 100% strength, what they call, before they can activate you. And a lot of times they want 105.
Okay.
Because they're going to lose some people, and whenever you're what they call mobbing up, mobilization orders and stuff, you'll end up getting some people will get sent home because they're pregnant, didn't know they were pregnant.
Yeah.
Not none of the guys do.
Yeah, hopefully not. I mean, but you never know. In the military nowadays, they might be experimenting on y'all, see what's going on.
Stuff you never know.
Yeah. That'd be PTSD all by itself.
It would be. And, we had some guys got sent back because of, they might have found something with their teeth anyway. So,
anyone AWOL out or being scared?
I'm pretty sure we had some that tried to get out for various reasons.
Yeah.
Hardships and everything. Some of them, it was far-fetched. They were just trying to make stuff up. So.
Anybody just shoot himself in the foot, be like, "Bah, I can't go anymore."
Now that you mention that, we had a couple that tried and missed.
Oh,
no, we actually had one that done it overseas.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
But he couldn't take the stress.
Got you. He couldn't take what we're talking about.
That was in 2008.
Okay. That was his first tour or what?
Yeah, he was kind of young, but we had got hit hard. My second tour over there was rough.
Okay.
It was rough.
And both of them were in Iraq?
Both were in Iraq. First time was spitting on the table. First time was northern Iraq.
Okay.
Different set of people. Second trip was Baghdad.
Oh, okay.
Not the outskirts of Baghdad.
You were in Baghdad.
I was in Baghdad.
Okay.
Some people that might watch this, if you maybe Google or look up Rustamaya, it was basically a small FOB, forward operating base, that we were getting mortared or shelled almost daily.
Oh my gosh. Now, like I said, me and you, I don't know the whole story, so I'm asking a lot of questions in general. But I also want to say for anyone that's watching, PTSD isn't just military. So a lot of times, and I'm going to be honest, a lot of times you think of PTSD, it instantly thinks about the military.
Well,
you know,
this is kind of what it is. The mind is not structured to view or handle physically and emotionally certain things that happen in people's lives. I.e., one of the biggest things people suffer with for PTSD is a type of either mental or sexual abuse.
Okay.
That is, before Iraq and Afghanistan, that was one of the biggest things for PTSD.
Yeah, and that, I mean, like I said, I think it's been called different names. What was it, Agent Orange at one time and stuff like that?
The Agent Orange was the cancer stuff. It was called shell shock.
Shell shock, that's it.
Back in the day, because they didn't know what it was. They just, figured it was, hey, somebody's getting a concussion, and that's what is happening.
World War I, it was called something. World War II, it was called something. It's been called something different each time, and now they finally go, hey, this is it.
They consider it's for lack of a better way to describe it, it's almost like your mind's unable to
process the pain.
Truly process what has happened.
Okay.
We were not designed to witness and view certain things
regularly
that a soldier sees.
Yeah.
Not, and I'm going to offend some people here, but we're not FOBITs. FOBITs a lot of times don't see things because they stay in the base. They don't do much anything. But anyway, we'll move off of the FOBITs.
Yeah.
That was just a little tidbit for them out there. But you take somebody that comes up on a car wreck, okay, they see things that they don't want to.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
first responders, medical personnel, firefighters, okay, state troopers.
There's police officers that get severe PTSD.
Because, and it's hard to process if you come up, and a lot of people can't understand this. When you come up on a crime scene like that, and there's a body with a detached head.
Oh yeah.
You can't unsee it.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay,
I
and that's why a lot of people push. And this is kind of getting off of the PTSD stuff, but if you got people that view porn, you cannot unsee what you see. Okay, I don't care if you get forgiven from it. Guess who's going to keep bringing it up to you? Okay, because he knows. The devil knows he can bring that up to you and boom.
Yeah.
You're gonna see it again. Whether it's just in your mind's eye.
It stays there, yeah.
Not necessarily saying you're gonna get back onto it.
Yeah.
But it's
a poison that doesn't.
It is. It's one you cannot get rid of. You learn to deal and cope with the PTSD stuff, but you never truly get rid of it.
Yeah.
It is continuous. And look, the best thing in my life that ever happened for me was my wife.
Okay.
Okay? And to start with all this process, it was so hard for her to understand what was going on. And I had a hard time telling her what was going on because at the time, I'm thinking, hey, I'm protecting her from what I'm having trouble dealing with. I don't want her to deal with it too.
Yeah.
Well, I had to learn to talk with her.
And was some of it difficult just in general? She won't understand. You know what I'm saying? Was it like, I can't talk to her about this because
some of it, I knew she wouldn't understand, but also it was kind of like, I don't want her to have to know what I saw.
Now, were you, this is genuine questions when I asked it.
Yeah.
Were you one of the kind of guys that when you first got back, it was hard to sleep in your bed and everything like that, or?
Oh, heck no. You see my wife.
That's what I was saying. Like, I know some people, like, they have to camp outside for a while.
I will say, I did have trouble because, like I said, the FOB I was on, we got rocketed a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know what a rocket or mortar sounds like.
Okay. And I've never.
Some of the movies is kind of right. It's got that whistle to it.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Well, when you hear the whistle, you're glad because when you hear the whistle, it's coming over you.
Okay. All right.
All right.
That's a good thing.
But when you come back and then you go to Wally World, Walmart for some of you people, you find me a shopping cart that don't have a squeaky wheel. And it's kind of like you're on edge.
Yeah.
It takes a little while for the edge to start wearing down to where you're not like, looking around for somebody trying to kill you or something.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine, coming back to, especially, as populated as some areas are, how difficult it has to be that you're not thinking in the back of your head, are they an enemy? Are they an enemy? Is
Right.
this because if you've been trained and your mind for a whole year has been to spot the enemy.
And even worse than that, if you live around a community that has Muslims and you go overseas and you come back, every time you see somebody wearing a burqa, okay, which is the head and face covering, okay, you don't necessarily react, but it heightens.
Because now you're thinking back to where you were.
Exactly. It's a trigger.
Yeah.
Okay. Just like the whistling, the shopping cart making the noise. It's a trigger.
Now, did it take you a while? I mean, this is just small questions. I thought of.
Yeah.
Did you have to go to sleep with noise in the background at first, or when you got home, was it hard to go to sleep in complete silence, I guess, since you were used to all that kind of stuff? Or
No, I don't think so.
no? See, I can't go to sleep. I got to have a TV on to go to sleep in general. Where we lived in South Carolina, we lived right by a busy street, so I'm used to hearing stuff.
I can go to sleep. My problem is staying asleep.
Okay. Any noises sort of.
I'm like sleeping a couple hours, I get up. Even now,
Some things you just won't, it's never gone.
Yeah, and it might be one of those things that I will never in my life sleep like I'm supposed to.
Okay.
Could be. I don't know. I can go 2 weeks and I'm sleeping 3 and 4 hour segments. I'll get a day where I might get 7 hours. Few and far between.
It goes in, yeah.
Exactly. It's not necessarily that I'm 24/7. I'm sitting there. I'm struggling to get some sleep or whatever. But it does. It comes in stages.
So just like I said, we just want to talk about a couple things just up front with it though. So PTSD, just in general, the trauma of what you're dealing with. And again, I get some of the stuff you're saying. I don't know. I've seen some pretty traumatic stuff, not quite military stuff. One of the things that got to me, and it still bothers me a little bit today, is I came up on a wreck where a drunk driver hit someone that was driving a moped.
Right.
And they were everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, what was really, really bad about that, and this is probably the thing that messed me up the most with it, is we pull off because we see it, and right after we pull off, another car pulls off, and it's a guy who just got back from Iraq, who the ambulance has to take first.
Yep.
Because he
lost it.
Gone. You get what I'm saying? Like the cops had to restrain him to get him in the ambulance. Gone. I mean, I didn't come back here to see this. I mean, he loses it. And those moments stuck out to me because it's like, man, when you've dealt with something like that, like you said, you're for a year, you know what I mean? And then you have to come back to what we consider, I hate to say it, this is normal. Civilization in a sense, I'm not saying they're not civilized, but our civilization at a sense.
Well, it's a war-torn country.
Yeah, and our culture at a sense, and you have to somewhat reacclimate to,
Civilian life.
Yeah, civilian life, but normalcy at some level. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Because again, you just said it, normal for you was for almost a year here in mortars.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you got to come back to what we consider normal. All right. So when you get back, and I guess we'll just lay it out this. When you get back, you said you had to take time, talk to your wife, Crystal, and everything, and discuss it. Take us through the steps, man. Like, was it like, oh well, it took a year for this? Take us through the steps. What was it that?
No, we're talking multiple years. We're not talking like.
Oh yeah, it wasn't like last
6
week.
to 12 months. That this happened. It was probably a couple of years. And
was there is there key points that you go, okay, this is the moment that I said, you know what, I really have a problem, I need help? Was there key moments that said this is what was really holding me back? Is there things that you can think of that?
Just even today, and I retired out in 2010.
Okay, so 11 years ago, yeah.
11 years ago. Even today, I struggle.
Okay.
And I have times that, I relapse.
Okay.
Some people can understand it. Drug addicts can understand it.
Yeah, I got you.
You go through and you're trying, you're trying your best to be, the good citizen or whatever you want to call it or whatever. And trying not to live that, seeing those things and objects and stuff,
Yeah.
And it does. You don't really have a moment that it's just like, cutoff. Just like anybody that got, addicted to it. The biggest thing probably somebody addiction-wise that can understand it would be tobacco. Mm-hmm. Whether it be cigarettes, whatever, that would probably be one of the best where people could understand it the most, because that's one thing that people struggle with the most in the United States.
In this area, especially.
Because, you got some that struggle with the drugs, and you got some that struggle with the alcohol, and whatever. But tobacco was probably one of the biggest things that people don't understand, not being able
to go for it, even come back to it, yeah.
So, but no, it was a few years after I retired. I was basically immersing myself in anything I could to keep my mind busy.
Okay.
So I wasn't thinking or having to worry about a thought of what I had done or what I had seen coming back to me.
And you have 2 little girls. Were you ever afraid, like, in general, like one day you just get overwhelmed in something bad? I hate to say, like, not that you would hurt.
There were moments. I did have anger issues.
Yeah, that's what.
And I still can at this. Like I said, at this time, and it'll come out, and it's like, what's wrong with you? I don't know.
Yeah.
But there was times I got mad with the girls.
And didn't understand completely why you were mad.
Yeah, not knowing everything. But did I ever fear of waking up and chopping somebody up with a knife? No.
Yeah. Okay.
No. And guns, hey, pro Second Amendment, but I don't have a lot of guns in my house.
Just to be safe. Yeah, just to be safe.
Well, no, growing up, I never had many. Lord give me these 2, and they're dangerous enough. But so
I guess the military trained you how to. I had a buddy say, military trained me how to kill a man with one finger. Like, what? He goes. I was like, well, okay, that's a good point.
Actually, that one does better.
That one does better.
But I knew I didn't have stuff around me where I could wake up. You see it in the movies. People wake up.
You weren't sleeping with a handgun underneath your pillow waiting.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's one of the dumbest things I ever seen in my life. I mean, come on now. You're going to be awake. Are we losing it?
No, we're good. It's just we're having some internet. Like, that's just internet. I don't think that's the stream, because Morgan's not having an issue. That might just be my computer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but once I started working with that, and then working with the VA, which I've done pretty good with dealing with the VA. I've had a pretty good track record. I've been one of the lucky few.
I'll say that's a miracle.
It is.
That's a praise report all the time.
It's like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
So,
why did they? Because you said you got medically retired from PTSD, 2 years away from actual, I guess, I'd say real retirement, but 20 years in. What made them look at you and say that? Did you get interviewed and they looked and said, yeah, you've seen too much, boss?
Well, what happens when you get back from overseas, you get processed through demobilization.
Okay.
You have to go and talk to certain doctors, and then they look at what all's happened with the unit, and then they'll go from there. When I said my second trip was rough, we had approximately 110 people in our unit.
Okay.
As far as my MP unit. My first trip, I think we lost 3 people.
Okay.
As a brigade.
Okay.
Which is about 4,500.
Okay. Yeah.
3 people.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
Good track record. Yeah.
Yes. My second trip, we come over out of about 110 people. I can't remember exactly. We had 5 that got killed.
Okay.
And approximately 15 that got injured. So when I say our company got hit hard, you're looking at approximately 15 to 20% that was either KIA or injured.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying
severely injured too.
Yeah, I'm not saying they fell down and broke a nail.
Yeah, not they had a jammed toe. Yeah, I got
you. So and seeing the aftermath of some of it, or being right there when some of it happened, you know, that's what basically led to my.
They said you need to.
They said, Mr. White, Sergeant White, you're no longer deployable.
Yeah.
So what that said is Uncle Sam was afraid to send me out of the country under his name again.
Yeah.
Because he knew what was getting ready to happen.
Yeah, he didn't know your response the next time. Yeah.
He said, we can't let him come up here with Steve from Blue's Clues.
Yeah, exactly.
That was
when you saw him over there, how was that?
That was all right. You know, he had a little dog with him.
Y'all are solving everything over there. Yeah.
Eating plastic.
But no, so you get told, hey man, you know, you've dealt with such traumatic stuff. The military tells you you've dealt with such traumatic stuff. We're sending you home. You say there was a process to it. You dealt with the VA. What was one of the biggest, eye openers that you were like, I need help, that you can't do this on your own? Because I think when we talk about making a comeback, a lot of the times we need to realize to make a comeback, one, you're not going to do it by yourself. Most of the time, if you're going to make a comeback, there's going to be a team around you. There's going to be family around you. There's going to be people around you to help you. Too many times we don't take the first step. We notice the sign, but none of us go, okay, I need to get help. What was it that you said, you know what? Or was it something that maybe you and your wife talked about and you're like, you got to have help here?
That's kind of what it was.
Yeah?
It was my wife. You know, it's kind of like, you know, I can't keep living like this.
Okay.
And you know what? Neither can I.
All right. I can say ultimatum, but she sort of laid it out and said, this can't continue like this.
I mean, it was an ultimatum.
Okay.
I mean, not being ugly, you know. And for a lot of people who don't really know, you know, me and Crystal's been married almost 20 years now, I think. Not.
You ain't got to remember right now. This is being recorded.
No, time flies.
Oh, no, I agree.
When you're having fun.
I mean, yeah, dude. I mean.
I'll tell you what it's like later on.
I don't know, man. 14 years in, I don't know what is going on now.
But no, she did. And it was kind of like, that's when it started being along the lines of talking to my therapist.
And you started seeing things?
I've been seeing a therapist for a long time.
Okay.
Okay. She's even traumatized now.
I got you. Yeah. You gave her your PTSD.
She's traumatized now. I think they're getting ready to retire
I'm surprised you went through only, like I'm not trying to be mean, but I love you, Adam, but the jokes you make, I'm surprised you've only had one therapist. I'm surprised they've been like, you know, man, you got to take this serious. You've had three.
I've had three. I don't know why.
You got to take this serious.
Well, they knew better than to tell me that I was the reason because they didn't want to deflate me.
But again, some people, when they have that rock bottom moment and then they go, hey, I need help. One thing I'll say, and I greatly encourage, it was a cool post I saw on Facebook a while back. When it comes to Christianity, we're afraid to talk about what you just talked about. Mm-hmm. I have a therapist. Or even people that talk about PTSD that may have to go and get medication for or something like that. Or anxiety or depression. It's like, well, you should have Jesus. You know what I mean? If you have Jesus, you shouldn't have any of these issues.
Well, let's compare that.
Yeah.
Let's say you got high blood pressure.
Okay. So I should just have Jesus, right?
Is that what's good? I mean,
no, but
you know, if that's what some people would say, but you can't control that high blood pressure, mm-hmm. you know.
Or even if I had a heart attack or something and I go to a doctor, the thing is a therapist, and again, and make sure that you're going to I'd say good therapist. If you can, make sure it's a Christian therapist. I know pastors done counseling in the past with people, but the thing is we make it a taboo. Like, dude, okay, cool, you go to a therapist. For what you've dealt with, I think you should, in my opinion. I mean, and hopefully it's good for you. But too many people that possibly go to therapists, it's like, oh, I can't tell anybody because if they just knew that. Why? I mean, what's the difference in going and being coming to one of us pastors and having confidence in us with the same thing as going to your therapist and having confidence in them? So I just think it's amazing. Only three. I was assuming it's one a year.
And they were licensed. They were actually psychiatrists. They're not, you know, they weren't, you know, one of these.
Well, they were. I like how you say were. Like,
two of them. Well, two of them, I'm not sure.
They're no longer.
They might be out of the business.
Yeah, they're no longer practicing anymore.
Like, done. It's to me, it's not a taboo.
Yeah, but like I said, there's too many people it is.
Yeah, if someone wants to come up and say, hey, now I suggest don't ask me probably why I go see a therapist.
Yeah,
Because
I think that's a like who did you
Well,
vote for question almost.
well,
Yeah.
I'd rather you ask me who I voted for. Because some things you don't want to share with people because
You're going to that
when you
therapist for that reason.
when you see or you hear what somebody might have done or what they might have seen, especially somebody from the military or somebody that's a police officer or first responder,
Yeah.
whatever, you'll see them in a different light.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, soldiers, they unfortunately see a lot of death,
Mm-hmm.
dismemberment, as well as a lot of life taken.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and some people can handle that better than others.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Some can't handle it at all.
some cannot handle it.
Yeah.
They act like they can, and there's a lot of people that tell stories. A lot of people will sit there and tell you they done this, this, and this. Okay, most of those people, I'm gonna call them out right to start with. Number one, if you're talking about it as openly as you are, you probably didn't do it.
Oh yeah.
Because you don't want to rehash it. You're already having to live your life, having to deal with the thoughts of it in the back of your mind all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to want to sit here and say, I done this or I done that.
Oh yeah. There's not bragging about it.
Exactly.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
And as far as seeing dismembered or somebody blowed up and stuff like that, it's hard when they're friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to see a stranger or somebody else, and not making light of those situations.
Life is important, yeah.
Exactly.
But when it's a close friend.
When it is a friend, and you are literally covered in their blood, you don't unsee it. Like I said earlier,
Yeah.
you never unsee these things.
And then you have triggers from
You
then on
just
out.
learn how to deal with them, and sometimes you learn some of the triggers, and you go through life avoiding those triggers.
So, you and Crystal, y'all had the come to Jesus moment, if you will.
Right.
You went and talked to your therapist and had discussions with your therapist and everything. I'm assuming you and Crystal at one point in time probably went together for a while, or was it just you? Or
I think it was just me.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife's perfect. There ain't nothing wrong with her.
Okay, I don't agree. I've known her for a long time.
Yeah.
I've known her longer than you've known her, and
I know.
I don't know if I agree with that statement, but it's cool, man.
Hey, I'm telling you.
But I mean, we'll just agree to disagree on this one point.
I'm just getting some brownie points.
That's fine. Go for it. No, but if I agree with you, Crystal would think something's wrong with me.
I
So,
know.
yeah.
She already does.
It's cool, man. Like I said, I've known her for a very long time. She's like an older sister in a lot of ways. But so you go through all that. What is it that? How do you continue to make the comeback? You know what I'm saying? So you've made the comeback. You, like I said, you come back to real world. You've dealt with some of the more difficult things. You faced, I guess, the monster within, and that said, hey, you know what? I have an issue. I guess to me, the biggest monster is you finally have to go
Admit.
yeah, I have an issue. What is it that keeps you making that comeback? What is it what helps you not fall back into it? Like you said, you're always going to deal with it, but what is it? What are the things that keeps you from going back into those things?
Mine's more of a trifecta.
Okay.
I would say my faith,
Okay.
my wife, and my kids.
All right. And let's take them as you said it. How has your faith helped you with all of this in general?
Because you realize that God doesn't give you more than what you can handle.
Mm-hmm.
Some people will disagree with that.
Yeah.
Okay. But He allows you to do things and put things in your life, albeit maybe some stupid decisions people make.
Some of this, some PTSD, and again, it's not outside forces; it's inside forces.
Right. You bring it on yourself. But He's not going to allow you to receive more than what you can handle. Now, you might not like being able to have to try to learn how to handle those things, but you're going to learn to handle them. Okay, and thank the Lord, both me and my wife are Christians.
Yeah.
Okay.
She is?
She says she is.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to
okay.
take her at faith here.
Okay, I got you. Cool deal.
So, but
I've had a lot of questions.
if you would consider this for a moment, how difficult it would be for somebody living. Let's say you had a husband or wife that was living for Christ and was having those PTSD problems, and their spouse was not a Christian.
Yeah, and not had the same faith and belief.
Right. How much harder it would be for that husband and wife to stay together.
Oh yeah.
You know, especially being we're in a society nowadays that it's okay for everybody to get divorced for whatever reason.
Difficulty is a good enough reason to get divorced.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't
Right.
whatever that difficulty is good enough.
Even though, and my dad told me, hey, you know, marriage is work.
Oh yeah.
It's not 50-50, it's 100-100. Okay? So, but it just makes it a lot harder when you're sitting there and you're bickering over faith issues, you know, or the lack thereof, as well as, you know, whatever other things you're having trouble with, the PTSD and stuff, you know. And then, you know, some people might think this is not true, but I got 2 great kids too. They've seen a lot more than I would want any kid to see.
They've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly.
They have.
Yeah.
They have. You know, and thank the Lord, like I said, my trifecta here has also allowed for my kids to grow up, and I'm blessed. I'm not going to lie, I have been blessed. And that's going to come back to, on a short topic there, my mother spent more time on her knees than she did her feet. Okay, my mama is an old school Pentecostal.
Praying for you the whole time you were gone and the whole time you were back.
So, up to a few years ago, Bo, she did not wear anything but a skirt or a dress.
Yeah.
Okay.
Old school. You're talking old school.
Yeah, I'm not talking
Beehive kind of old school. Is
when
what
I
saying.
say, it's like OLE school.
Okay.
She's OG.
Yeah.
Okay. So she helped read the 10 Commandments off the original stone tablets.
She translated them bad boys. I got you. Yeah.
But, you know, which, you know, I'm blessed enough. My mom and dad's both still alive.
Yeah.
But I contribute my life as far as how blessed I am from my mom. Okay. She prayed for us.
Yeah.
You know, both me and like I think I said it last time, I got a twin.
Yeah.
You know, both my twin and myself, both have blessed lives.
And he chose to do first responder. Isn't that what he does, or he's?
Well, he was a
field or
Chippendale dancer to start
Okay.
with, like I was.
Okay, yeah.
No, we never did for Chippendale.
Yeah, not for Chippendale.
Private company.
Private, yeah.
But my brothers.
That's why y'all both had to go into different fields. I get it. I understand. Yeah, the military is the only way to get out of that debt.
Yeah, we had to get out of it. So, but no, he's actually a nurse.
Yeah. So he's got his own form of some kind of PTSD. I mean, people don't come in.
He was a paramedic for 15 years or so. He used to work on East Care out of Greenville.
So he's seen some rough stuff.
Yes, he has. He has honestly probably seen a lot more than I have. Okay, and it affects him.
Now,
we talk.
Now, has that helped somewhat in all this that you have your brother that y'all can sort of y'all aren't swapping stories, but talk about, man, I've had some stuff mess with me too, and y'all can be open and share and go, man, this stuff is difficult because
at times my brother's very introverted.
Okay.
Unlike, you know,
not
like me as bad. I mean, he's still outgoing,
but he still wants to keep to himself.
He holds his emotions close.
Okay, well, I feel that. I understand.
I mean, he literally, when it's getting ready to come out, it's going to come out, you know, with a little bit of pressure because he holds it.
Yeah,
he don't, you know,
plays it to the vest, man. I got you.
He does. So, you know, and as far as and that's why I say, you know, I know first responders see a lot too, because me and him talk. We talk a lot.
Yeah.
You know, covered HIPAA rules. He does not mention names or anything. Maybe circumstances, just not names. So we don't you know, fall over the HIPAA rules.
Yeah. You don't want to get him in trouble. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, he's seen a lot too, and I tell him he needs to talk to somebody. He said, I will. We'll see.
I'd be the kind of person. Well, I'm talking to you. No.
Kinda.
Yeah.
And that's what he does, son.
And I mean that's good, but again, but that's the reason. So I want to. I mean, we're coming to an end. I want to wrap it up with that kind of thought. One, what you were saying about the trifecta, and especially God, we go through stuff at times, and sometimes we don't realize it till years later. We go through some things not just to make us better, but to help us help people that go through that kind of stuff too. You know what I mean? It's funny because other than Jesus, most of the time, if you go through the Bible and you read about these characters that we've looked up to and everything, something happened to them that wasn't just to make them better, but it was to help everyone around them.
Put them in the position that they could help other people.
And that's the beauty of how Christ works and God works.
That's because he sees everything.
Yeah, it's not that he doesn't see down the corridor of time; he's seeing over the corridor of time and gets it. But I think that it's awesome that there's that ability to have that testimony. Like I said, I want to say these things, and correct me if I'm wrong. When it comes to making a comeback in life, and again, we encourage people to do this. One, talk to people. Like, make sure that you're not.
Yeah, don't be afraid to step out and ask somebody for some help.
Yeah. Two, when the signs show up, I guess like you said, when Crystal finally put it on the table, but when the signs show up, instead of running from it, face it.
Because I buried it.
Until
she'll tell you, I spent more time fishing on the water than I did my feet on land.
And like I said, until the cards hit the table, so face it when you have to, and then find, like I said, find the right people to build with, because that's the catch is you I know it's faith, but it's also the community of faith that you have, the people that care about you and everything like that. I mean, I'm assuming there's at least a couple people here that like you, so I'm trying to run through some names. But
I'll
it's
think
really
of one
high.
in a minute.
Yeah.
I'm not
Other
sure.
than your wife, we can't count your wife.
No, she don't count. Family don't count.
Yeah, family don't count. So, like, if we can think of somebody, but you at least have one person here that thinks you're an okay guy. So
Maybe Ray.
Or I was thinking Hoffman maybe because he's close to Crystal.
Well, he might hold that against me.
Yeah, you're right. So I don't know. But Ray Kretschko likes you.
We'll go with him.
Yeah.
If he learns to bring the right hot dogs.
The brown hot dogs are the right hot dogs. See, me and you can't be friends right now.
Brown is out.
No, man. I don't want my hot dogs painted.
Actually, I'm not a Gwaltney person.
It don't have to be Gwaltney. You can get some Hebrew Nationals.
That's what I'm telling you. Hebrew National, kosher beef, people. Kosher beef.
But no, talk to people. Face it when you. Adam's okay.
There's one.
Yeah, but Miss Debbie likes you at least, so, or at least thinks you're okay. But talk to people. Face it when you need to face it.
Yep.
Make sure you have a community of people to.
And don't think you're the only person that has gone through trouble in your life.
Oh yeah.
Everybody has. If anybody has made it past puberty, they've gone through something.
Oh yeah. Or if you're going through puberty, you've gone through something.
Or in some nations before.
Yeah. And the thing is have those people around you to talk to you. But I guess one of the last things that I want to say, and I think that you do it, and I don't know if you do it consciously. I know you go to a therapist, but always continually checking on yourself. You know what I'm saying? I think one of the biggest things that a lot of us fail to do is to have some kind of self-consciousness. You know, where am I on the spectrum today? Right. You said sometimes you still get angry, sometimes, but where am I on the spectrum today? Am I having a good day, bad day, medium day? Where am I at on this? And not lying to yourself at that thing. So it's not that you're having 5 angry days and you've lied to yourself the whole time. And I think those are important things, man. Again, I'll say what Debbie said. Thank you for your service. Yeah. I know you were MP, so thank you for I know y'all did a lot over there. It was more than just going around. I know at one point in time I think y'all were trying to help train people and everything too.
No, we trained the Iraqi police.
Yeah, so I know it wasn't an easy task, but I appreciate you for everything you've done. And for keeping Steve safe. And that wasn't his name. Like,
yep.
It was really important.
His driver.
Yeah, really important. Steve. Really important that he stayed safe the whole time. But guys, thank you so much again. Make sure you're liking and sharing, you're commenting, talking to us as we go through these things. Next week we're going to talk about divorce and things of that nature. We encourage you to come be a part of it. Make sure you're joining us 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. if you're close enough to our locations to be here in person, or Sundays at 7 p.m. if you're close enough to this location. And then also make sure that you're joining us 11 a.m. or 6 p.m. on Sunday afternoons and nights if you can't be close enough to be here. God bless, guys, and thank you so much.